Welcome back to another episode of President Reagan's UFO Briefing. In today's installment, we will continue our discussion on this intriguing topic. If you missed the previous episode, you can find it on our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. During President Reagan's UFO briefing, he persisted in seeking answers about alien presence on Earth. The caretaker deferred his questions to a later meeting, but William Casey revealed the Soviet Union had its own encounters with aliens. President Reagan pressed for the number of alien species visiting Earth and was informed that at least 5 had made contact. The nature of these species varied, with limited intelligence available on 4 and 1, known as the Ebens, being cooperative. Concerns were raised about a potentially hostile species. President Reagan insisted on more information about the hostile creatures, but a delay was suggested. The president emphasized transparency and asked about operational war plans. He was reassured that no imminent threat existed. President Reagan also learned that President Nixon, Ford and Reagan himself had received the full briefing. However, President Carter had not been given the complete briefing, and the caretaker could not provide an explanation for this omission. The atmosphere lightened briefly with a playful remark. The discussion then continued as the president sought to gain a deeper understanding of the situation. During the briefing, President Reagan persisted in seeking information about aliens visiting Earth. It was revealed that the Soviet Union had its own encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The president learned that at least 5 different alien species had made contact with Earth, with limited intelligence available on most of them. One species, known as the Ebens, was cooperative and helpful, while another species was considered potentially hostile. The briefing discussed a Soviet incident in 1970 involving UFO sightings and unsuccessful attempts to intercept them. Photographs of the hostile alien spacecraft were mentioned. The president inquired about tangible evidence in possession of the United States, confirming the existence of photographs but noting the complexity of the intelligence sources. The caretaker provided the code name for the hostile aliens, HAV, and President Reagan expressed surprise at their presence since the 1950s. The briefing also revealed the technical names of the 5 species: Ebens, archcoloids, quadloids, trantiloids, and one unnamed species. Ebens. They are 3–4 feet tall with gray skin. They often wear grayish-white tight-fitting suits, have large black eyes, a slightly protruding nose, and small slit-like ear openings. Archcoloids. They are 5–6 feet tall with dark skin. They often wear gray jumpsuits or 2-piece space suits. They have black eyes in a slanted shape, 4 fingers and 4 toes, slightly prominent ears and nose. What sets them apart is that each of their arms and legs has only one large bone. Among the extraterrestrial visitors to Earth, archcoloids have the lowest TQ, total qualification, rating. Quadloids. These genetically engineered beings come in 2 forms, insect-like and humanoid. The insect-like quadloids resemble mantises, while the humanoid ones have a similar appearance to humans. Ironically, these genetically engineered creatures possess a higher IQ than their creators. Trantiloids. They are 5–6 feet tall and have a humanoid appearance similar to humans. They have blonde hair, with longer hair in females. They are very slim and have almost invisible eyelids. Their eyes and noses closely resemble those of humans. The Ebens were described as friendly, while the trantiloids were considered dangerous. President Reagan was amazed by the specific names and asked about captured specimens. The briefing continued with further details and implications of the alien encounters. During a briefing, President Reagan's curiosity about aliens and their activities on Earth remained strong. William Casey revealed that the Soviet Union had its own encounters with extraterrestrial beings. President Reagan inquired about the presence of multiple species visiting Earth simultaneously, and the caretaker reluctantly confirmed the existence of at least 5 different species. The president expressed concern about potentially hostile species and requested to see a photograph of a captured trantiloid, but one wasn't available at the time. President Reagan sought information about the safeguarding of evidence related to extraterrestrial visits. The caretaker assured him that the information was securely stored in various locations, respecting the president's request not to know the specific details. The discussion included sensitive military installations like Area 51, which President Reagan was familiar with. The caretaker discussed Project Dove, a disinformation program aimed at diverting attention from classified aircraft by convincing the public that UFOs were real. President Reagan acknowledged rumors of government involvement with the film industry, and the caretaker confirmed such collaboration, citing the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. The briefing also mentioned the Adam and Eve commissions established by President Truman. The Adam Commission studied the possibility of releasing information about UFOs and crash incidents to the public, while the Eve Commission focused on using atomic weapons for defense against potential extraterrestrial attacks. The caretaker emphasized the importance of public opinion and the need for proof to establish belief in extraterrestrial beings. Throughout the briefing, President Reagan's curiosity persisted as the caretaker provided further details on extraterrestrial encounters and government efforts to manage and protect this information. In 1959, the United States initiated the Strategic Integrated Operational Plan, SIOP, to counter potential space-based alien invasions. They developed a commission called EVE to manufacture atomic weapons capable of being launched into space using the Atlas ICBMs. This effort coincided with the Soviet Union's military buildup, which allowed the public to perceive it as a response to Soviet actions rather than extraterrestrial threats. In 1964, the U.S. had its first contact with an alien species called the Ebens. A mechanic named Ebb taught humans elements of the Eben language, which relied on tones. Ebb also provided a communication device, but it was partially damaged and required repairs. Once restored, Ebb sent messages on behalf of its species, and the U.S. trusted their content. There were concerns about potential distress signals leading to an invasion, but no such event occurred. Ebb continued sending messages until its death, and the U.S. operated the device independently. The initial message from the Ebens acknowledged communication and inquired about a missing craft's crew, including coordinates of crash sites. The U.S. believed the Ebens sought information about their crew's fate. Ebb was thought to be part of the Eben Air Force or a similar organization. After months of effort, the U.S. translated most of the message and responded in English to facilitate communication. The Ebens struggled with English, but progress was made. The U.S. provided English lessons, and the Ebens eventually gave the U.S. an Eben alphabet equivalent to English letters. However, deciphering the written Eben language posed challenges due to its simple characters and symbols. President Reagan was amazed by the difficulty aliens faced in understanding Earth's diverse languages compared to potentially having only one on their planet. Despite the linguistic barrier, the U.S. established a basic level of communication with the Ebens by teaching them English and finding common ground. Over the next 5 years, progress was made in understanding the Eben language, but coordinating the details of an Eben landing on Earth proved challenging. Both parties struggled with each other's time and date systems. Visual means were used to simplify communication, but transmitting pictures through the Ebens facsimile system was difficult. The crash site in New Mexico was identified as significant to the Ebens, and star charts found in the spacecraft were deciphered by astronomers. These charts revealed different star systems and locations of space tunnels. A select group of astronomers studied the charts. Stay tuned for the next episode of President Reagan's UFO Briefing, as we delve deeper into this remarkable encounter.